as most beginners who are watching this will probably have a beginner setup, they ship with outdoor wheels, which tend to be a little bit softer. So I am wearing my outdoor wheels today, and it does make transitions slightly harder. So I will point it out when we get to that bit. Drill number 1 is forward stroke skating. You need to be able to tick this off before you start doing transitions. And I do have a forward drills video, which shows you a series of drills which will get you to forward stroke skating. The reason forward stroke skating is so important is because you need to be comfortable skating on one foot so you can lift the other one to start the transition. So being able to transfer your weight from one foot to the other is really important. Drill 2 is backward skating. I promise we will get to transitions in a minute, but you really need to have backwards locked in before you start thinking about turning. Otherwise, as I've said a million times before, you'll end up turning backwards and then panic because you've never skated backwards before. As long as you've got a good backwards skate, it can be the wiggle, which is essentially a 1 foot bubble, or you can do the A where you're marching. As long as you're comfortable rolling backwards, you can start learning transitions. For drill 3, we're actually going to start turning now. You may notice that I don't have skates on. This is actually the safest way to learn transitions initially because it's all in the shoulders and the hips, and it's really important to learn this first. If you imagine I am traveling forwards in this direction, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my upper body. Now, if I'm opening my left shoulder, I'm going to put all my weight onto my right foot. So my left foot is free. So turn, bend this knee, lift this foot. And likewise, the other direction, I'm going to open here and I'm going to put all my weight on my left and I can lift my right foot. So here. So this is a start of a transition. Turn here. So to practice the drill, what I would do is I would stand here and then bend and lean here, bend here. So you can get to the point where you can do this. That way you're comfortable committing all your weight to one leg. Then we can move on to drill 4. So this one builds on drill 3. What I'm going to do is imagine I'm skating forward in this direction, and I'm going to do drill 3, which is turn my upper body and release my leg. Now, this foot is going to be the one that is now skating backwards in that direction. So I need to place it in the right position here. And then I'm going to lift this one up and bring this shoulder round. There. So I've now turned from forwards to backwards. So in the opposite direction, do the exact same thing. I'm going to do my open shoulder, open hip, open foot, place it down, lift this one, close this shoulder and bring it round. And I'm skating backwards. So what you need to do as a drill is here. It's really important that you close the shoulder. So I'm skating forwards, I'm here, and then I'm going to skate backwards. So this shoulder needs to close. If you leave it back here, you can't really finish the movement. So the shoulders are one of the most important parts of this entire thing because they are what turn the rest of your body. So I'm opening here, which will open my hip, open my foot, and then I'm closing this foot, and I must close this shoulder. If I leave the shoulder here, it's a really awkward position. You need to close. But likewise, don't then open this one. So then what's going to happen, rather than turning from forwards to backwards, is you're going to keep going because this shoulder's pushing you. So it's almost like you're doing a spin. So it's open, turn, close. So drill 5 is a nice fun one, and it's kind of giving you the idea of how the shoulders create the momentum for you. So I'm going to stand hip width apart, and most of my weight is going to be on the ball of this foot, just like it would be in skating. And what I'm going to do is use this shoulder to spin this leg around that one. It'll all become clear when I do it, like this. Now I'm stopping the momentum just like you would in a transition because I'm closing my shoulders. If I kept this shoulder turning, I'd do a spin like that because this is pushing me. But for a transition, it's really important that you stop the spin. So I'm going to be here, pull this one back, this one forward, and stop. Once you feel that, you start to feel the mechanics of what's happening when you skate. And obviously, if you're more comfortable, you can do it in the other direction. There. It's a nice fun one, that. My skates are back on. This feels much better. It's my happy place. Right, so basically what we're gonna do is drill 4, but with skates on. So I'm gonna use something to hold on to. I'm skating forwards. I'm gonna open my shoulder, open my hip, open my foot, and I'm gonna close this shoulder and this foot there. So here, here. And then I can practice this like this. So, when I mentioned earlier about the 78A wheels, this is where it comes into play, because this foot has got to pivot out of the way. So if I'm skating forwards, I'm going to be here and here. Now this foot has got to turn to backwards as well. So I'm going to put more weight on my toe and pivot like that. Now if I had a harder wheel on, I wouldn't have to lift the heel quite as much. But if you've got a soft wheel on and you're outside, you're going to need to lift that a little bit higher. The more confident you feel with it at the chair, you can start to take this drill moving. So all I'm going to do is skate here, put all my weight on this right foot, open here, open, and then I'm going to transfer my weight to here, pivot the foot, and I'm backwards. Let's try it one more time. All my weight on my left foot, open my hip, open my foot, pivot on the toe, and I'm backwards. Now I do have an entire video on the open book turn, which is what we're going through here. Just a little bit more detail if you do need it. Drill 7, you probably don't realise it, but in what we've been doing in all of these drills, you've actually been learning to step forward as well. So let me show you what I mean. So if I'm skating backwards, I can do the exact same thing. I can open my hip, open my foot, and step. So this one is ever so slightly different, and it's just that pivot point of the trailing leg. So I'm skating backwards, I'm going to open my shoulder, hip, foot, put my weight on here, and then I've got to bring this foot round. But rather than pivot on the toe, this time we're going to pivot on the heel. Let me show you that one more time moving so you can see what I mean. So I'm backwards, open, open, and I'm going to pivot on this heel. When it comes to transitions, a lot of it is about what feels natural to you, and there are loads and loads of ways to turn from backwards to forwards and forwards to backwards, and I have 2 videos, the S turn and the C turn, and they give you loads and loads of options. Now if you would like to support our channel, you can be a YouTube member, and it means you get to watch next week's video before everybody else, and also outtakes, because it does regularly go wrong. And we also offer a little bit more about me. I'm Katie, you've been watching Skatie, and I'll see you next time. Bye!